welcome into the studio. I'm Andy, and we're banging shit on stuff. That's probably one of those things that like YouTubers edit out their videos. I don't do that here. We're not here for that, are we? We want it all. We want all the goodness, all the flavor. So today, what we doing, dude? First of all, look at this damn guitar. Is this not one of the most beautiful? It's just art. Look at the grain they selected. You know, it's one piece swamp ash. I mean, and while we're at it, who doesn't love a good ping pong delay? That's coming out of THU's rig player. And I mean, not the rig player, really. The delay is coming from the pedal. It's built in. We'll look at it, because today we're going to talk about solos, building up like a solo tone. I'll crack out this little solo. I'll show it to you. I'll teach it to you. And because you can play it. You can play it slow. You can play it fast. It's a fun solo to play. I wrote it. So I should know? No, it's shit. Shut this down. Dude, leave now while you still have time. But, so, you know, we talk about guitar shit around here. And, like I pointed out, I don't edit these videos. I know a lot of people spend a lot of time telling you about all the time they spend doing all the lighting and all the things and all of this and all of that. Watch my video about, there's a link down below, not up above, because I don't want to go back and have to figure out where this spot is. Watch the video down there linked to the LED lights thing in Ableton. There's just like a couple of LED lights. They're stage lights and they're mounted around the room, and that's what's lighting me up. And if you use lighting effectively, like I'm bouncing this off the front thing, you don't need a big softbox. You don't need LED things in your face. Now I'm just getting off on a tangent that doesn't have anything to do with guitars. Sorry I pissed you off. So this week in guitars, now it's the new thing, I guess, around here. We're going to talk a little guitar talk. You know, like what's interesting this week, because we're interested in that stuff, right? And so I've seen all this chatter about some device. What's this device? Barry Johns was talking about it, right? We'll peep over on his channel, and it'll be right here. Tonex, right? So I guess this is a similar type pedal to like the Kemper, like a profiler pedal or something, right? You know, and so he's describing, and Barry Johns, you should totally go check out this guy's channel. If you don't know Barry Johns, if you don't know Barry Johns Studio Talk, get on over there. You're missing out. It's a great channel. This is a long time. This guy's been engineering and producing and making music for as long as any of us have been doing anything. And he's super smart. He's got a great take on like everything. I agree with most everything on his mouth. But go check out this dude, Barry Johns. And apparently it's a big stir this week and all this. And I'm watching these videos and they're talking about how it's an exact like capture, just a snapshot of an amp setup, and that's all you have to deal with. And so I didn't know this about Kempers, because I've never had one, but we won't even talk about it. It just seems like a silly kind of a thing. But for me to carry around, I could just carry my amp. But I guess if you want to go from like high gain to mid gain, that's two different profiles that you got to have set up and switch between. So like every sound, you need that. And like you can't go like just dial in the gain or anything like that. You got to dial it in on your thing, do the snapshot, and then you're ready to go. Which sounds so dumb, because in our world, I'm like, we're getting rig captures, and I say our, assuming you are smart enough to be using Overloud's THU. In our world, we're over here like, we get captures of complete amps like Friedman Naked, you know, black and white for like, what, $30, $40. We get the whole thing. It plays in the rig capture. We can swap out cabinets, use the match cabinets, use all of our effects and stuff. I mean, like, dude, give me a break. Here, let's look at THU. Let me make this thing, like, really big so we can peep it. And so we have our rig player that's what you're looking at right here is the THU rig player. And this is playing rig captures, right? So like right now, we're working with this old ADA amp, the MP1, this old tube amp, MIDI controlled tube amp from the 90s. Just awesome screaming. Awesome tone. And it's got a tube screamer in front of it. Again, a great model of that thing. And so with these rig captures, though, you could see we've got all the controls right there. You know, that had the gain, the high, mid, low, presence, tone, all the stuff is there. And some more stuff, sag, power sag, definition, tube, you know, clarity. So even more controls are lurking around. So it just had me like wondering, oh, that's like a good gong. Is that a bell in the town square? It had me wondering when I saw like Barry John's video and then seeing that all these other people are talking about it too. It's like, what the hell? Where's everybody? Am I missing something here? Because this rig player thing seems to do what all these guys are wishing, like all these different things did that they're all using. And I don't know. I don't get it. Because, you know, and then I'm like, in my head just now, I'm thinking, well, I mean, maybe they want to take shit around and be portable and stuff, and THU's like this locked in, but it's not. It's right here. I have everything that I ever do on, I was about to say that we ever do on stream, because, you know, in case you don't know, that's what this Always Andy shit is. I stream music on Twitch, and it's partly why I don't edit. I mean, we live in a live world, and we're doing a live thing. And that's what these videos are. But I have all of my THU stuff right here. THU, of course, it's offloaded because I haven't used it. I use it mainly when I'm traveling. And it's awesome. You have like a little iRig interface thing. Everyone knows what these are. You plug it into your phone and put your headphones on. And it's this. I have these exact amps, pedals, and presets. It's awesome. So I mean, hell, THU's mobile, put on laptop, it's like anything else. It's this thing is whole mobile. So I don't know what the big thing is, but it seems to me it's a bunch of silly conversations about really expensive gear trying to do what this thing does already, and this is not expensive at all. But so let's go back over here and let's look at this rig preset. So I talked a little bit in the last video I did about, you know, like this preset probably in particular, but all of this is like my main, like solo and just live channel preset. And so what we've got are two rig players. Okay, the one on the top is my high gain. The one on the bottom is my mid gain. Now, these both happen to be the same amp model, but they could be anything. I have a lot in my little library of amp models. It's easier to get to from my presets over here, but, you know, I use the Friedman amp model a bunch, and the Mesa, and I use a lot of the, excuse me, I have a Bogner. There's a good Bogner model, or rig captures in here. Mostly I'm using rig captures. You can see in this program, I mean, you have pretty much every amp, and this is just what comes in the slave version, you know, which this and everything else I use is a little over $100 a year, and that's what it costs for everything I use. FYI. I'm not into the plugin, and I was onto that as Barry John's, one of his recent videos, talked about. Stop buying plugins. Ooh, recently Waves just went to subscription. I'm glad I don't use Waves. Waves jacked up my system a couple years ago, and I was just like, I'm so done with Waves. But yeah, they're all subscription. What do you think about that? But in any event, Barry Johns has a lot of content out there. Like, stop with the plugins. This is getting ridiculous. And I totally agree. I've been using the same simple set of Slate plugins for years, and they're phenomenal. And I don't need anything else. you know, for those things. There's utility plugins that you use for things. There's toys, new amps and things, but the EQs, the compressors, I mean, how many models of these things do you need? Really? How many do we need? So back to my preset here. So if I'm not using the ADA, I'll be using the Soldano. I've got a Soldano hot rod. Let's call it up, shall we? And now as I change between these presets, what's cool is they knows all my mappings. So I can still change the channels. So there's your high gain. Mid gain is still the MP1, still the ADA. And really this high gain sound, this tone is just a little smoother. I changed away for you, sorry. This tone is just a little, there's nothing to see, really. It's just the name of the things, isn't it? It's like, what do you want us to look at, dude? Hot Rod 100, there you see. The rest of the preset is exactly the same, only the rig changed out in the top rig player. But this is it's just like a smoother kind of a distortion than this. And even with the tube screamer off, it's going to be a little more squeaky. You know, it's a different sound. Now, lately I'm into that sound when it comes to like cutting through mixes. So let's talk. We'll have a quick look here. We'll jam out this solo. Let's get down to the right scene. This one. And so for this particular solo in this song, this is a big cover of a Rihanna song that my wife asked me to do. Occasionally my wife would be like, yo, dude, will you do this song up all harp style so I can have it? And, you know, I will, because I'm a good husband who's been married a long time. Because I like being a good husband, and she's awesome. So of course I'm gonna make this for her. And this one's big. Now, my wife likes guitar solos. That's the only thing she requested in this thing was like, put a big guitar solo in it. So I was like, all right, I think I can probably do that. So we come out of this chorus and then we go into this solo that has huge reverb. And it kind of mimics like what the chorus does. And then I go into the next section. And so like for the Ableton guys, we're talking about this highlighted row here called solo, and then the next one called jam is the second part of the solo. So I'll kick this off, and then while I'm playing, I'll use my feet to move that down, and then when I'm ready, I'll kick off that next section, and I will also use this pedal here, donk donk, which you can't see because we're not up there, but you know, down here, this little button here, I'll hit this one, and that will turn my Valhalla off. So if we look on this channel, that there's a light that goes on and off there. You see that? That's the Valhalla, and that's me pressing that button. So we've got this is a free plugin. If you don't know it, you should get it. It's great fun. It's great fun, this plugin. But that's how I have it set for this. So I'll turn it on basically for the first part of the solo, and then I'll turn it off for the second part of the solo, which is a much cleaner tone. We don't need all that reverb. It's silly. It's ridiculous. So let's play it real quick. Second part is pretty hard, so let's see what happens. It's super fun though. Like I said, I'm gonna teach it to you. We'll go through it real quick. And of course, this is on that ADA MP1 setting, and we've got outside of that Valhalla, you heard that, but you've also got the delay. It's a ping pong delay. It comes from the pedal that you see right here. I put that in at the end of the chain, and That's kind of how I have it set there. How far can we zoom in there? So a little bit of a stereo ping-pong-y thing. And, you know, it's set moderately high, so it's going to come through in the mix. And this solo sounds like this. And that's the section, right? So, go ahead, I'll just show it to you. So, I didn't stumble through that too bad. Normally, I would probably warm that up. I didn't warm that up at all today. And I realized that as I started to go. So, the first section, super easy. I mean, already teaching you that thing. But the second section is super fun. We've got a little arpeggio thing. And so, if I'm writing a solo, I want to write it usually like right at the edge of what I can actually do. And of course, that's the most fun way to do it. It's super, you can challenge yourself and all that bullshit. You got to do all that stuff. But it's the most fun, and it's what will keep you coming back to the solo. And then some of that is going to translate, like when you're on the edge of sanity for what you can do, creates like a tension that people are going to pick up on. But so I like to go into a solo with something a little easy. You know, I don't like to just jump into the deep end. So a nice little arpeggio pattern, right? Is our first step. And we're gonna go back up a little and then start again, right? And when you're writing out stuff like that, it really comes down to just the rhythm, you know, like, so like, I know I don't want to go, because that'd be dumb. And you think, okay, well, let's just bounce off something like that. So we'll go up a little and then just go up again. And then what happens then? Well, how far are we in the phrase? When's it going to come back around? And you realize, okay, we're just about there. And it's like, that fits. Pretty cool. Cool. Then you're like, okay, well, in this case, I choose to just keep that pattern going and we'll just step it up. Now, the only thing tricky about that one is doing arpeggiated notes with a barred thing on your finger here. Because you kind of got to do like palmy mutes, you know, unless you're like a sweeper type person. It's a little slow to be swept. They got to get the palm moves. And then this next section, that's the hardest part for me to play. And it's a little dancey. It's a little classical sounding. I have much fondness for classical music, Bach, Mozart, all of it. And that's the end of the section, right? So we do the thing and then we start bouncing up. And that's how we round out the section. So the whole part one together goes. And you're done. Now, the next part, that's where I hit the edge of my sanity. It doesn't look or sound like a lot in the moment, but basically I'm just doing a legato runs that you can't miss a beat, and you have to be real relaxed. And so it took me a lot of tries to get it like, you know, actually smooth. Actually smooth. And so that's the general basis of the run. And so you've got an extra 2 notes at the very end to get you through to the next, right? So that it times out right. Because you're like triplets. It's like you know, and that's the phrase. Then we're going to replicate that upwards. I'm picking it all, but to play it fast, I do it legato. So the last one, it only goes up and it finishes it out. So it's like kind of two positions that you go through, up and down. The first one, then the second one, the third one, you go all the way up. Get a little tremolo piggy thing on the end there, and you're out. So I'll do those slow so you can like pick them up because it is fun to play. You should try it. That's not slow, was it? I didn't do it slow at all. Let me. Bum, 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 bum. That was a bad note. So was that. We should start over. Still had a bad one on the last, right? So just goes to show you, even someone who can sit down and rip through the solo and look like he knows what he's doing, sometimes you don't. Muscle memory takes over. That's why you practice things like again and again and again and again and again. Because once you get into it, sometimes you don't have to think about it. It just goes. And then when you do think about it and try and do it slow, you can't because you're like, wait, I'm not used to having to think about this. So altogether, the thing is, I'll do the last one more time so that we have a good one all the way through. And there's your line. So all together. Part 1. Part 2. In the tune, let's do oh yeah, just that part. Ready? Magical, isn't it? And so that's how I use the rig player to set up tones for, like, you know, the live guitar. And I do like having that Valhalla there, like where you can just be like... Guitar's awesome. That's enough, dude, isn't it? We're 25 minutes in. Who has the attention span? I don't know. I don't have it. But anyways, if you're doing cool things with your THU installation, tell me about it. Show us. Put a link in the comments so we can check it out. Like, I want to see more THU content. And if you're writing your own solos, right? Same thing. Tell us about it. Put a comment down there so we can come check your shit out. At any event, that's the show. That's it for me. If you're interested in learning how to do this stuff, go to alwaysandy.co. I have a whole course about streaming and setting up all this stuff the way I do it. And it's rather unique. You should check it out if you think it's interesting. It's not expensive either. You'll be all up in it in no time at all. So, like I said, I would love to see some other THU stuff. If you got it, send it over. We're going to check it out. Anything else you want to have to say, put it down there. Drop a like and a follow, I guess, if you want. Maybe you don't. I'm just listening to this clicker and thinking, oh yeah, you don't have that. Good thing. That's pro shit. See, if you were hearing that click, that would not be pro shit. That would not be good. It would be bad. Anyways, cheers. Thanks for coming around. Have a great day, and go make somebody smile, right? Why not? Rock your day. Rock your day. Later.